Hi, Mark Gilbert here, and in this video I want to take Ken Wilber's AQAL model, AQAL, which again stands for all quadrants, all levels, all lines, all states, all types, and offer some thoughts on how it can be used in real-world situations. Again, other videos here cover the basics of integral theory, as well as one of the key concepts of Wilber's AQAL model. So the question really is, how does this integral map serve me? What important ways can I use it to give me insight into my world and into my life? Let's look at a couple of examples. One area where the integral view has been employed and is frequently mentioned is in the world of medicine. Traditional Western medical treatment generally focuses exclusively on the upper right quadrant. That is, it seeks to treat the individual's body without concern for their inner world or the person's relationships. Drugs, surgery, and other bodily focused treatments are helpful, but are they the only possibility for how we can provide health care? Looking at health care integrally causes us to consider the patient's inner states of awareness, their emotions, their attitudes, their spiritual beliefs, and how those things have a bearing on their health. Hence, there's been an increase in treatments such as counseling, visualizations, meditation, and so forth, which actually consider these areas. However, an integral approach also requires we look at the impacts of our interpersonal relationships. These include the attitudes of the family, the communications between the doctor and the patient, and other related factors. And they also call us to look at social systems, the outer collective, such as the impact of health insurance coverage on the person's health. Failure to consider the interplay of all these factors leads to providing health care that may not lead to the best healing of the whole person. Let's look at another situation. Let's say that you're the owner of a company or the manager of a unit within a corporation and you're trying to increase your productivity. Now, it can be easy to simply focus on the outer world of whatever it is that you produce and set controls in place to measure both the time and quality of the output, and simply focus on those outer world measurements. But integral suggests that you might want to look at other areas too, such as considering what your employees are thinking or feeling, that is, their inner world. Do they have the skills and abilities to perform the task? Do they need training? Does completing the task provide them the right inner motivations, such as growth or happiness or a sense of accomplishment, such that they have an inner drive to excel at their job? Does it provide them the right side outer motivations, such as the proper remuneration? Are there inner agreements, such as the culture of your workplace, that's a barrier to increased productivity? Are there improper procedures or inadequate equipment, the collective outside, that preclude productivity? In fact, there are some whole business theories that focus simply on certain parts, the cultures, the outer systems, etc. But integral asks you to look at them all and hold them together at one time. Now, we could go on with other possibilities, and you could do this on your own, including looking at how an integral approach could look at crime in the city, problems with police shootings, school performance issues, church growth, with your relationship issues, and so on. But whatever situation you can think of, what I want to do is really offer you a general template to get you thinking about how to go about considering any situation with an integral lens. First, think of an issue or question that you want to consider. It can be a personal issue or it can be a larger global issue out in the world. Once you've got your issue identified, then consider these questions. Now, I want to put out there that these questions aren't all-inclusive and the only things to consider. They're simply things to get you thinking more integrally about the issue. First, what developmental areas or which of the multiple intelligences might be at play in the issue? The idea here is to identify which line of development might be pertinent, then considering it from all four of the quadrants. Here are some developmental lines to consider, but there's many more. For example, the needs line, and think of Maslow's hierarchy. What is it that you or others in the situation need? Are the needs the same or are they different? The values line. Think of spiral dynamics and its worldviews. What is it that is most important to you or others involved? Are the values motivating you the same or different? The morals line. Is the issue impacted because you or others are driven by a sense of being egocentric or ethnocentric or worldcentric? Are there different moral levels in play by different individuals in the situation? The emotional intelligence line. What are the feelings that each of the players in the issue have? What are the differences in those feelings? The interpersonal line. Are there differences in ideas as to how everyone should interact in the matter? The kinesthetic line. Are there physical abilities or concerns at play in the issue? Could physical training in how to do something be needed in this moment? The cognitive line. Is there a knowledge level matter at play in the issue? The spiritual line. How is what is of ultimate concern about life and our existence to the various people involved driving this issue? Again, there's other lines that you could consider, but going through these and others gives you a starting point. The idea is to see that if by looking at these different developmental lines and where you or the other individuals involved may be at different developmental levels, at different stages, that there may be something there that identifies potential action for you. Now, a key point to consider in relation to any of these lines of development is that they play out in all 4 quadrants. So that for each of the lines that may be of concern to you, you'll need to look at them in relationship to an inner and an outer and an individual and a collective perspective. To do this, for each one of the areas, for each one of the lines, ask, what is the outer expression of the issue that you see? What's going on in the material world on an individual basis, either for you or any one person in the matter? Next, what are you or any one person perhaps feeling or thinking on this issue? How is it manifesting internally? Then, what cultural issues or internal agreements or lack of agreements might be at play here? Finally, what outer social systems may need to be considered? Now, what you want to do is do all 4 quadrants for each of the lines of development that appear to be in play in the issue you're looking at. Now, beyond all of this, there's some other things you should be asking. What information does considering types add to the issue? Does this have something to do with regarding male and female differences? If appropriate, consider things like Myers-Briggs or Enneagram ratings or other things like that. Is there some unhealthy shadow expression being involved? Another question to ask, does it relate to different states of consciousness? Sleeping, dreaming, drug-induced, etc. If so, how? There you have it, a quick list of things to consider. But one area you may want to focus on, as it appears to come up a lot of differences between people and groups, is the values line. Again, Integral considers this line of development be essentially the same as the stages or levels in spiral dynamics. So I'd highly urge you to become familiar with the different stages of development in spiral dynamics, and then bring that knowledge into looking at the rest of the areas mentioned here in this video. In any case, I hope this helps you get started in looking at things integrally. If you consciously try to see things this way, I guarantee you it will change your perspective on life. Good luck with it, and until next time.